Hey, hello, welcome back to us. Looks like Jitsi decided to stop the live stream, but we started again. Okay, so in the last moments before we took our break, the escape pod without propulsion popped out and like a bubble. And I'm going to super say, just because I think it's interesting, that there's something about the escape pod that it can evacuate the water and just kind of spits all the water out of it. It has its own power system, so the fact that the ship didn't have power, that's a-okay. And it is slowly floating up towards the surface. And yes, you guys, with the single viewport, you see, sure enough, there is an Imperial sub. And then soon enough, as it kind of continues to rotate around, you see our 2VO is pulling the jet ski, or the jet boat, the ski boat above you guys, and you sploosh up on top. I think it would be not super exciting if you get shot, if the escape pod gets shot. So I think it's just a thing where it like pops out and it's going up so quickly that the Imperial sub is giving pursuit. But you are able to get to the surface and open up the portal and start heading towards the ski boat. You have the device in a crate still. All four of you are able to hop out, and Leaf, you see that there is an astromech that seems to have been the pilot of this ski boat. And then the Imperial sub surfaces. And I'm curious, Grip, what do you do, being the pilot?
Well, let's see. I think so. Now, what does the Imperial sub look like?
It looks amazing. We have a picture, and I'll just screen share that because it's so cool. That's the Sea Trooper link. There's the Imperial submarine.
Wow,
Yeah,
so it looks like a spaceship with but it goes underwater.
It's the best. I'm going to screen share with anybody that might be watching. Share my screen.
All right, interesting. And it is, so it looks pretty well contained. So, all right.
Yeah, there it is.
You know what though? I feel like a really piloty thing to do, a Star Wars piloty thing to do, is I'm noticing in this image that you shared that it's got like these kind of like these two like sharp fins that kind of go down into the water, and then it kind of like bubbles up to where there's like this glass bubble with all the like people inside. And I feel like we might be at this kind of like, when they rise up, like we might be kind of heading into each other, right? Like, and they just kind of rise up right in front of us. And I Grip is gonna just shove VR2O, no, VO2, I always get this
R2VO.
R2VO. I'm never gonna get that name right. I'm sorry. You just kind of shoves R2VO out of the way, and you just like, there's like this is the like Miami Vice style speedboat, right? So I think it's got this like nitro boost kind of like engine boost thing that you can do, and I think Grip just wants to like punch that, and the boat just like shoots forward, and everyone's going whoa, and we just like basically go straight into this sub. But because it's like sloped down so much, we just like jump off it, and we just like go right over the bubble like that all the people are looking at, and jump into the behind it and zoom off in the other direction.
That's insane, and I adore it, and I must see if you pull off what you've envisioned. So you roll with advantage, because I'm going to say it's piloting, even though this is in Starship, because I just think it's amazing. However, what you're doing is crazy, and therefore the challenge rating is a 4.
Okay.
So you would just add 4 to both of those D20s that you roll. Now, as you're prepping your dice, I'm going to quickly tell Leaf what it is that you see as they decide to play chicken. You see a nautilin. So if you don't know what a nautilin is, they have the Kit Fisto from the prequels was a Nautolan. So they have dreads that are actually tentacles. They're often green-skinned. They're excellent swimmers. And a Nautolan surfaces. You guys go away from it. He has the red lightsaber. He or she climbs on top of the escape pod and leaps off of it towards you guys. So let's see how that roll went. How did you pull off?
I got a 2. So
what? You got a 2? Yeah. That's amazing.
So that totally succeeds. That's like, even with the skill rating, that's still 10 under my my what I needed.
That is amazing. So 10 under is incredible. It happens exactly as you describe it. It flies up in the air, and then the Nautolan with the red lightsaber lands on the very edge of your kind of jet ski. I keep saying jet ski, but that's not what it is. It's a speedboat, Rich. It's a speedboat. A jet ski would be much more problematic. Anyway, speedboat. So it lands on the very edge of the speedboat, like right on the the ledge itself, and they crouch down, and you see the lightsaber out. Leaf, they look directly to you.
There's the lightsaber hum as I activate both of mine. One of them is trailing downward against the water, and the other one's held up like in a knife fighter guard. And I'm trying to move up the deck of this boat as it's bouncing across the waves to get between this red lightsaber and our cargo.
Nice. Sweet. So as you're doing that, Lobar, you see the crate start to lift as if seized by invisible hands. What do you do, Lobar?
I will so the crate, we just put it in the boat, haven't we? Is that right?
Yeah, it's sitting in on the floor of the speedboat that you guys are on.
I mean, I could just like sit on it.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
I'm probably going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my arms around it so that I'm like holding on with like putting claws into the deck of the boat, so to speak. So I'm like latching myself on as firm as I can.
Nice. Give me a strength roll. You get to roll with advantage because you're an arm ripper.
Let me. Well, I succeed either way. So I got a 10. No, right, 8. Sorry.
Nice.
So no difficulty. Yeah. Sweet. And so does the crate continue moving?
No. I mean, it's you can feel the tug, but you're able to hold it fast.
Cool.
It would take a little bit of effort, but you are successfully keeping that from being stolen away. So, Leaf, you interpose yourself between your new friends and the crate and this Nautolan. And I'm kind of imagining like that the speedboat is doing that thing of like, whoa, 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 whoa. And the Nautolan has their lightsaber out, and it's like as the water hits, it kind of throws up a bunch of steam and everything as the lightsaber keeps, and then you move in, and they launch themselves at you, kind of flying.
Yeah. During one of the bounces, as we hit one of the waves, they jump in at me, and I'm trying to like duck underneath, do like the double bounce on the trampoline where you just absorb it with your knees, and stay close to the deck of the boat and come in underneath them with the lightsabers.
Sweet. Give me a dexterity roll. They have their weapon is like the opposite of yours. You've got 2 little shivs. They've got kind of a double-handed, or it's a 1.5-handed, so they can. It's a bastard saber, but yeah. And it's they're going to be coming around with large sweeps and strikes, whereas you're definitely want to get in close. The challenge rating to harm this fine, upstanding Sith is a 4.
Well, the dice came up with an 18, so I'm not on a good track there.
Okay, sweet. So do you imagine were you trying to fend off and find an opening, or were you trying to get in close and slide and shiv, because that's what you got is light shivs?
trying to get in close. If they were leaping, I was trying to go underneath.
Nice. So you move in, but just a little too late. You see that it was a bit of a feint. And when you come in, they turn around and actually roll their shoulder and connect with your shoulder and flip over you. And then they come around to see if they can cut off your head. So you get to roll. It is a lightsaber. And as you know from some rules, it is double damage dice. So please roll 2d10.
Oof. 7 coming in.
7 total?
Yeah.
That's
3
not
and
so
4.
bad. You're fine. You're fine. I mean, that has to hurt because you have 10
Sure.
total.
It's
Left right
not
now.
the head, but it's right through what's left of the armor on the shoulder and right through the edge of my shoulder as well.
Sweet. So you're slagging your armor?
I'm just going to take the hit on that one.
Okay, sweet. So that was just for color, but you still got a little bit of that. Okay. Yeah, so it slices directly across your back and throws you to the ground. And Zop, because we know that Grip, you're trying to get you guys out of here. Oh, by the way, Grip, a couple torpedoes coming your way. So Grip.
Yes. Okay, and a couple torpedoes coming our way, huh?
Yeah.
All right. No problem. So let's see. Now the torpedoes are probably more maneuverable than this ship. I'm thinking I'm going to have trouble outrunning them. That's my guess. But there's got to be something clever we can do here. So now we're pretty far away from where we need to be. Is that right?
You're like it was about,
like, I mean, from the because we want to get back to the port.
yeah, you want to get back to the port and
good
get on the
stuff.
long shot in GTFO. Yes.
Right.
So if I remember correctly, it was like 10-minute on the speedboat to get out here. So it would be maybe less than 10 minutes at the current breakneck speed that you're headed.
And are we expecting the long shot to be like waiting for us, or is there we should probably maybe like communicate with them too?
That would be great. That would be a good idea.
Yeah. So I think I kind of just like turn on the communicator. But I'm like so busy like trying to outrun these torpedoes that I'm just kind of like Sin. I'm just like yelling his name, but I'm not.
It's like, Sin. Go for Sin.
And all right, so I just want to like buy us some time, right? Like from these torpedoes. So I think I'm gonna like do some evasive action to see if I can get these torpedoes to like miss us, right? And then to go from there. So I'm just gonna take evasive action, anti-torpedo evasive action.
Sounds good. That would be another piloting roll with Dex.
You know what? I'm actually imagining. I'm trying to think how this is gonna go. I think this is how it's gonna go. I think I'm like really getting into this like skipping over the waves that we're doing, right? Like the boat's like jumping over the waves, and then I think I like realize that like these torpedoes are coming at us pretty fast, right? They're like super fast torpedoes, and I'm realizing like if I time the jumping of the boat just right, I can like jump over one of these waves, and the torpedoes will go right underneath us, and then boom, we'll like land just on the other side. I just got to time it just right.
I love it. I'm going to say challenge rating of 3 to pull that off. If you do it, neither of the torpedoes hit you. And by the way, you know, the torpedoes, they're like up on the surface of the water. And so they cut through every wave. And of course, they've got like Imperial symbols like right on the bulbous head. And we know that they're not explosive. Like they're effective like ion torpedoes because they do not want to blow up the planet. But yeah, they're gonna, if they detonate, your ship's dead in the water. You guys are hosed.
Okay, all right. Not to put any pressure on me in this roll.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna clear all the dice first.
Okay, so, go for it.
Boom. And then we will roll 2d20. And
2d20.
Ooh, I got a 9 will work. Okay.
Oh,
even with the 3
nice.
challenge rating.
Good work. Okay, cool. So with your 3 challenge rating, with a 9, you still pull it off. Congratulations. And yeah, so the torpedoes pass underneath, and you like land, and they continue going forward like a vanguard for you. Zop, you see that your new friend Leaf just got kashlacked a little bit. Lobar is trying to keep hold of the crate. And you seem free, maybe bored. I don't know.
No, Zop is like totally in on this, and once again, I think he has got the armored spacesuit, right? And it's probably kind of obscured his face a little bit this whole time. And his face shield flies up. He points his vibro rapier at this Sith and says, "I am Zop Books, lover of Booza. I have trained under Booza for, several years. You Sith scum, you will not." And I just run straight at him with the vibro rapier drawn. I'm more trying to intimidate them, with the knowledge of whatever Jedi fighting technique Booza taught me.
That sounds
to
amazing.
try and give Leaf an opening here.
Oh, that's
trying
cool.
to distract them with whatever shadowy lightsaber training I've had.
All right. So give me an intimidation roll.
Is that maybe with charisma?
That would be with charisma.
So we're going to give it a shot.
And if you succeed, then you will allow Leaf to roll with advantage.
I got a 1.
Wow. There's a moment when you deliver that challenge, this Nautilin Sith recognizes Booza's name. And that seems to make it a little nervous. And so when you charge forward, it starts moving into a defensive posture and actually takes a few steps back and then hops back up onto the ledge. This is trying to gauge, like, can you really fight like Booza? So, Leaf, you have an opening here. You are white hot pain across your back. You're weakened. One misstep and you will die and join the Force here. What do you do?
So I haul myself up off the deck, and it's swaying as we're still skipping the waves. And if this Nautilin's perched on the railing, I'm going to go for its legs. So one blade comes up to fend off a lightsaber blow from above, and the other one is going right for the ankles or the knees. You can't move those out of the way if that's what's holding you to the boat, right?
Nice move. We'll see. Impossible reflexes are a thing. All right. Challenge rating for you is going to be a 2 because of the cleverness of your attack. Make a dexterity roll.
The traitorous dice are on my side this time. 4.
Oh, a 4. Oh, nasty. Now, you are rolling with your damage, attack damage of a d6, but is 2d6. So go ahead and roll that 2d6.
Those are still traitorous. Only 3.
Nice. Okay. So what happens is that you slice for the Nautilin's legs, and I think what happens is that you're able to hit the Nautilin right across their left shin, and it slices deep, but they move quickly enough to avoid losing the entire limb. However, the direction that they have to move is towards the water. And so at the speedboat's speed, they go off. You see some blood kind of spray across, and sploosh, they fall into the water and begin swimming again, trying to catch up to you guys. But you're in a speedboat, and Grip sounds like, "Are you in trouble or something?" R2's screaming a bunch of nonsense, and I'm spinning her up. The long shot's pretty much ready to go.
We got to get out of here. They're hot on our tail, Sin. I hope you got rid of that extra cargo.
Yeah, I did, just like we said. Yep.
Excellent. Come get us quick. The Imperials are here.
Oh, Sispit. And yeah, so you are headed towards the dock. You see the Imperial sub has surfaced at this point, but is quite a ways away. And you see a couple of his turrets are starting to come online because the long shot is headed towards you guys. So do you want to try to be picked up by the long shot? Do you want to try to hop onto the dock so that the long shot can drop down? You guys can easily run inside. What is the plan here? Oh, and by the way, low bar, you don't the force that is trying to pull the crate away, that has stopped.
Yeah. Cool.
So, Grip, is the plan to just keep riding and try to get the long shot to come alongside? Do you want to make it to the dock? What do you want to do, Grip? You're muted, Walter.
For some reason, I like just muted myself. I like, for some reason, the mute and unmute I like mixed
It's
them
the
up
letter
in my mind on
M.
this one.
It's far too simple. Like, I like a 2-button combo, but for Jitsi, if you hit M, you get muted.
So I kind of want to imagine that there's this thing that we've worked out with Sin, that we've seen, that we've done this thing before where we can actually like open up the cargo bay of the long shot, and there's like these not quite grappling hooks, but like cargo lifting cables, right? They can drop down, that normally can be used to like, you hook them onto cargo underneath the ship and you can like pull up heavy things into the cargo bay.
Mm-hmm.
And he can like drop these like lifting cables down and just like hover over the speedboat, and we can like kind of grab onto them, and then like the long shot will just like take off with all of us like just kind of like dangling from these cargo lifting cables as they slowly like, you know, crank us up into the cargo bay.
So you're not going to dock. You effectively like continue out along the sea, and the long shot comes up, and you see the tow cables have kind of dropped down. I'm using tow cables because Star Wars canon that those things are all over. Even snow speeders have them. And so I would like each of you to have to make a dexterity roll to hop onto the cable and climb your way up and out, unless you have some other way of attaching yourself. And the person who is carrying the crate will have a challenge rating of 2 to pull it off. So who goes in what order? Grip, I imagine you go near to last because you're still piloting the speedboat, which is being chased.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm going to use my grappling hook on my spacesuit to latch onto that crate.
Tow cables.
I'm just kidding. Like, I'm going to be like stretched between the two. I've got the crate attached to one arm, and the other arm's going out for the tow cable.
Nice. I love it. So all you have to do is, I think, roll your usage die to see if it diminishes.
All right, let's... No, that one does not diminish. And then I'm going to roll the dex check. And that's a success.
Nice. With the 2 challenge?
Yes. Yeah, it's an 11. I have a 16
Sweet.
dex.
So Zop grabs the crate and Diddy Mouse up into the cargo hold of the long shot. Who's next? Lopar or Leaf?
Oh,
I
good.
think I'm in the worst shape, so that I should probably get on there in case someone needs to help pick me up.
Before that happens, I think Lobar throws you a stim pack because you look pretty badly hurt. So, yeah.
Just like to slap it across the open wound on my back and
Pretty much, yeah.
hope the meds take hold in time.
That's a D4
Yeah.
for you to heal that. Nice. 2 back. Sweet. So you pop that stim pack on. As you guys are doing, you hear as a pair of TIE fighters come out of atmosphere and now kind of sliding across the horizon, heading towards and from behind the sub. So the sub's going on, the TIE fighters are coming up towards the long shot. And yeah, so let's have you hop up there. See if you can make it up and out, Leaf.
11.
I think you're pretty dexterous if I remember correctly. So yeah, an 11, you just pull it off because you weren't carrying the crate. If you were carrying the crate,
Nope.
you'd be hosed. Sweet. So you make it up there, and Zop is there with you. I assume Lobar will be next.
Oh yes, that's good. That's a 6.
That is a 6. That is fantastic. Yeah, you very agile. You leap up and onto the thing, and you're dripping wet still.
We've done this before, then, I'm sure.
Yes. You have your little blow dry just a little bit. All right, Grip is now up to you.
All right.
You see a couple more torpedoes are coming in. Ding, 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 coming towards you as you have to kind of, I guess, jam it and drive to keep going. So the speedboat keeps going and you got to jump up. So let's see you do it.
All right. I'm going to re-roll the yellow die. So
all right, we're
let's see
watching
how
it. It
that
was a
goes.
15. What shall it be now?
10.
Oh,
That'll do.
nice. Cool. Okay, that is what you needed. And
V2RO. Did I get that right? R2VO.
Of course, R2VO.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are going. R2VO looks up and it's like.
I think can I hook him? I think I could hook a cable onto him before I go up myself.
I think you could.
So he's just kind of dangling there. R2VO is just swinging as it
do that again, Greg. Do it again. Do it again. Sweet. So the fact that you made it by more than 5 will say that you get up and you hook a tow cable to yank R2VO, who does not have the cool R2D2 jump jets that just magically appear. It's just it's a trash can with legs on it. And so you drag it along as the speedboat gets hit by the torpedoes that it explodes. And there's a moment where you guys are getting pulled up and in, and the cargo bay doors were closing up. And the first thing you hear over the loudspeakers is the sound of an Ithorian. Ithorian are the hammerheads, Sean. And he says, hope you understand that there was a very significant deposit on that speedboat that the Alliance to Restore the Republic will now be expected to eat.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but they shot down my whole starship. Not too worried about your boat.
A member of the crew survived? I'm very honored to meet you. Please come to the cockpit. I am Captain Ixmas.
Ixmas, we don't have time for this. There's 2 TIE fighters on our tail.
There's always time for a formal greeting.
Leaf, the med bay's that way. I'll just point where
Just ignoring Captain Ixmas, which is a good idea. And Cien's like, hey, Grip, did you make it?
It's fun.
Grip's looking at his shot up blast vest that's just in tatters, and he's like, mostly. Let's get out of here, Cien.
Cool. So you will hop in towards the cockpit, and then the long shot will kind of rocks from a couple of blaster bolts from the TIE fighters. And as you hop in, strap yourself in, you guys are headed towards the exit, trying to get out of Sabari orbit. Or not orbit, but getting through the atmosphere, out of atmosphere into space. Cien says, hey, glad you're back. By the way, more Imperials have come into the sector, and we're a little worried. They've got a gravity well inducer, so we're going to have to get around that before we can hop into hyperspace. Not that I'm too worried about it. I've got faith in you, okay, buddy?
Great. Well, good. We're gonna be fine, Cien. I'm glad you caught that gravity well. That would have been really bad if that got us by surprise.
Yeah. The thing is, really, we could probably override the sensor, because the whole thing around the gravity well is that, the hyper drives are supposed to shut off whenever there's a gravity well, because you don't want to slam into a planet, but it's not really a planet. So if we turn it off, we're good to go. Although that means that the astro navigation calculations have to be absolutely perfect. You got R2VO with you, don't you?
Oh yeah, R2VO. Hey, Lobar, how's R2VO doing? Is he in a better mood lately?
Sorry,
Tom,
did
Lobar.
you?
Oh, God. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Was distracted. Can you please repeat that? I apologize.
So all right, did you follow everything leading up to that? So we're like, we need to, the astromech has to be perfect because we're
Yep.
turning off our gravity well detection. So Lobar, how's our R2VO doing? Is he gonna be able to really nail these coordinates? Our lives are gonna depend on it this time.
So Loba will sort of indicate to you that he seemed happy. So the restraining bolt was causing some problems. So I removed it, and he seems happier since then. But maybe we should just ask what how R2 is feeling, and see see what it thinks. You know how these droids are, like when they develop these sorts of weird quirks, you just sort of got to trust them a little bit.
Yeah, I think Lobar leans over or Grip leans over to Lobar, and he's like, just keep an eye on R2. We need to, talk to him. Make sure he's feeling good about this. We got to do this fast.
So I guess what Loba will do then, Loba will go and double check on a little astromech droid and see how the little fella's faring after the sortie down there.
Nice. I think, you come in and R2VO has moved into the very small. If you look, actually, I'll look and make sure that this thing actually exists because I have deck plans for the long shot. So yeah, there's the machine shop. That's totally where R2VO would go. Is go into the machine shop, and like it has a lot of water. It's kind of spitting out a little bit of water from a particular port. And you come in to check on it, and its little dome turns around, and that single ocular looks up at you, and it says, "I think that we're going to be destroyed."
So so although audibly, what you actually hear is just like a single growl. It's actually like, we can't have this attitude. We need to stay focused. If we all believe like that, we would never accomplish anything. Come on. And I think he'll give like a friendly tap on top of R2's dome.
Nice. I like it. Cool. So yeah, you try to encourage it. Let's give me a charisma check.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'll be rolling the orange die then.
However, I'm gonna say that this is effective. Oh.
I got a 4.
Okay, good. I love this. Yeah, it's like nothing but subtitles. And it's subtitles in all languages, like every version of this movie / TV show. It's always subtitles all the time. There's a moment where you like, we should buck up little camper moment, and the droid pauses and says, "You need me to plug in astrogation, right?"
Yes. Just the tiniest little growl. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'll do that. But only if you sing while I do it.
So Loba's going to look around and make sure that no one's like eavesdropping in the corridor, just quickly, and then he's going to kneel down real close to R2 and just say, "Don't ever ask me to sing again." But I'll do it this once.
Yes. Yes. Cool. So let's switch back to the cockpit. By the way, Leaf, are you actually going to go in? Do you want to go into the med bay and try to heal yourself up? Captain Hicksmith will meet you there if that's cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop by the med bay and like there's some sort of like, chill packs where you crack a little thing in the corner in it. And got one of those across my shoulders. Like one arm is out of the I guess I've had the stormtrooper armor off and like one of my shoulders is out of the robe and I'm making my way up to the cockpit when I hear like the low, mournful Wookiee singing. So I look down the hallway and then look up towards the front cockpit and I continue that way.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't take your invitation sooner, Captain. Why are we still in regular space?
You see, there is a gravity well inducer that is here, and it will prevent us from going into hyperspace because of the permutations of the hyperspace drive automatically shuts it off up. I believe that we have a solution, but it is extremely dangerous. Are those lightsabers that I see?
Yes, sir.
They are very small.
Not enough room for full-size blades in hallways like these.
You have a point. Well, you look very wounded. You should use a med kit.
As one holding me together right now, and just I wince. Like, I'll be okay.
What can you tell me of this device that we have been sent after? The information about it was scant. You retrieved it from the asteroid, and then you went down here on Sabari 5.
I'm not sure what happened to the ship. I was in a tank after a retrieval mission. From what they've told me and from what we knew heading in, this is a data core holding like a time capsule from Kissenet. The last messages of anyone that they could collect before their son destroyed them.
Oh, this is very troubling. We were given to understand that this was a device that would allow us to leap forward in technology and could serve the Alliance to restore the Republic, not some kind of time capsule.
I'm not sure. It could be both of those things or it could be neither. I think one of your men from the ship, Grip, he might have been, I don't know, contaminated or affected by it. He's got a sense of what
His head kind of swings back a little bit, and his little hammerhead eyes get wide when you talk about the word contaminated with an alien artifact. Oh, we should follow the proper protocols for contamination. Perhaps Yen will have to pilot the ship in this very dangerous.
No, it was maybe just a moment or two. Maybe it was the lights in the room. I'm not sure, sir. Look over at Grip.
Cool. So we will swing around to Zop because I'm curious if Zop has hopped into the turret or if Zop has been up to.
Totally hopped into the turret. That's Zop's position. Because everyone else seems to be acting like there's no TIE fighters chasing us.
Oh, there are. Just in a little bit of time dilation for conversations.
Right, of course. So Zop is firing, probably has been firing at these TIE fighters. But I think more importantly, if you look at the little deck plan, the turbo laser turret is right above the machine shop. And
you get to hear the singing too.
Zop hears the gentle, dulcet tones of Lobar singing this song, which I imagine is like a Wookiee lullaby. And Zop is going to start singing the harmony to Lobar as he's firing on these TIE fighters, and it's perfectly synchronized to the rhythm.
Just
of
imagine
the
the Rhodian lips like warbling as you. So good. Sweet. All right. Let's see how you fare against the TIE fighters that have entered space and are firing upon you guys. So please give me a dexterity roll. Zop. Boo.
Ooh, that's a 2.
Oh, that is nasty, my
I
friend.
nailed
That is
one.
nasty. Roll your damage. And your damage is your normal damage. So you get to roll a d8. It just scales up, as it were.
That's 2 starship damage.
Oof.
Unless there's a bonus on the turbo laser.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think I actually had that in some rules. Let's take a look. I think you effectively. I may have stats. Hold on. I think I have guns. No, just number of guns. Okay. Let's see. I think that we will. Yeah, there's no actual extra damage. So yep, it'll be straight up as is. That is not going to be enough to take out a TIE fighter. So I think it's one of those, they don't have shields, right? So you hit it and there's a bunch of arcs firing and it kind of wobbles a little bit. But the TIE fighter is going to be able to pursue you soon enough. Please roll a d6, which will be the damage to the ship.
That's a 4.
Oh, that's nice. You have 3 hit dice. So we should probably roll those. Can you please, for me, Grip, since you are the pilot, roll me 3. I think the hit dice should be d8s. So roll 3 d8, and that'll be your total hit points here.
3d8 for the ship's hit points.
Yes.
All right. Let's see here.
No rerolls. You roll crap. It is what it is.
Oh no. All right, here it goes. 16. That's actually great.
All right, sweet. And you just took 4, so you guys are currently at 12. But I'm sure Lobar can fix that if you guys survive. So, with the songs reverberating throughout the corridors, a nice little 2-part harmony, R2VO starts plugging in to override the gravity sensor for the hyper calculations, enters the navigation coordinates for you guys to try to get out, but you're going to have to get yourself away from these 2 TIE fighters, Grip. So please, let's see if you can pilot yourself away. You have the benefit of one of them just getting hit by Zop, but I need you to make a piloting roll. The challenge, if you make it with a challenge rating of 2, one of the 2 TIE fighters can no longer follow you. If you have a challenge rating of 4, you lose them both.
Ah, okay. All right. Here we go. And but I get this with advantage, right? Because this is definitely this is in my wheelhouse. If ever we were. All right. I'm going to clear all these dice because there are so many dice. And here we go. Rolling with advantage. Yeah. So that'll be even with the 4, I get under my dex. So yes. Looks like we lose both of them easily. I feel like that has to look really good on screen. So I feel like I kind of like spin around and like hit the brakes so that I like kind of like suddenly I'm facing them with the brakes on, and they're both coming straight at us. And then I just kind of go right in between them, and it like kind of like causes both of them to like lose their position, right? They're like, and then they just kind of like they get all confused, and then poof, I just like hit the turbo and we're like totally out of here. Yeah, basically they're kind of like running into each other and totally losing us.
One of them kind of goes off to the side because he's already spitzing and dealing with trying to reroute power and everything from when he got hit. And yeah, you guys jump into light speed. Now, just before you get into light speed, Leaf, you talk to Captain Ixmas and all this craziness is going on. And then all of a sudden you hear a voice in your mind. Leaf, good roads. cannot escape me. Are you really going to doom 1,000,000 souls for the purpose of this pitiful rebellion?
Who is this?
You may call me Darth Saris.
A million souls is nothing to what you'd wipe out in your path. Might not be able to outrun you forever, but we have today.
You may outrun me, but I know you. You are the reason that we will find this device. I can sense you, your voice, your weakness. You feel that Darth Saris is trying to effectively control your mind. What do you wish to do?
That's where you'd like me to think. I get up from the bridge, head back towards that beautiful, beautiful melody down the hallway.
Well, I think you were trying to resist mind control or oppose mind control here.
Yeah.
But I have some bad news for you. You do that with wisdom.
Oof.
Sorry for your dump stat, my friend.
3d6 in order.
Yeah, it happens.
No. Even with a good stat there.
Even with your +1?
No, well, yeah.
Nice. So you
Saris
know
is powerful.
Darth Saris can track you. And as long as you are here on the long shot with this device, he'll be able to find you. Perhaps you can go far, far away. As long as you're in light speed, he won't be unable to catch you. And you are in light speed now. But the clock is ticking, and you know it. So you guys are in light speed. You're going to be in light speed for, potentially a few days. Captain Ixmas is filing a report on all of the activities because that's necessary. Leda Mothma had given you guys a place to reconnoiter and to hand over the device. We are going to say that based off of where you guys are in the universe, you're out in the Outer Rim. I think it would be cool if maybe you meet on Rodian. So in orbit around Rodian, there are contacts at a specific space station that Leda Mothma has waiting for you guys to be able to hand over this ancient alien artifact. But for the remainder of our game session, you have evaded capture for now. I am curious, what is it that you wish to do with 1,000,000 souls and their memories that could be converted into a big-ass battery?
Well, Grip is fascinated by what he heard before, and he can't resist. He needs to go back and I think maybe he like waits for a moment when no one else is around, and he just kind of like lifts the cover up of the crate, and he just looking at it, looking at the glowing, looking at the sigils, and then he can't help himself. He takes a deep breath, and he reaches out and he touches it to see if he can commune with the souls one more time.
Oh, wow, that is awesome. Geez. So I'll let you roll with advantage because you know what you're going in for. Give me a wisdom roll to contain all
Wisdom.
of the...
Uh-oh, that's my dump stat too. If I'm, let's see.
I thought it was wisdom before.
It's okay. What's it? My wisdom? Yeah, my wisdom's okay.
Your wisdom's
Let's see.
all right.
Yeah.
It's average.
It's average. All right. So, no, I did not get under.
Cool. So it's a fire hose. You catch snatches of little individual stories, but none that's like from start to finish. They all kind of bleed into each other.
Wow.
But it doesn't overwhelm you this time. It's just more of trying to listen to 26 radio stations at the same time.
Okay, so I just can't get anything out of it, but I can pick up what I had before, that it's these voices telling their stories before this planet Knesset was destroyed. But I can't make out, like, there's nothing super intelligible beyond that for me.
Yeah, the gist from the Cassini is that they chose not to leave their planet, that they know that the sun is going supernova, and they are placing all of their stories in this device and sending it off into an asteroid field so that they will not be forgotten, which until this last half hour
and then it
they
was
had
found.
been.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think realizing that I just can't make sense of it, I closed the cover, but I do feel this, like, I don't know, this empathy for them, and just how many of them there were, and how tragic this was, and I want to go to Ixtimus. That's the name of our captain, right?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. And I go to Ixtimus and I say, Ixtimus, this artifact, there's something special about it. It is the last surviving ember of these people, these millions of people. It must be treated carefully. It can't just be used as a tool. I mean, it's alive. Do you understand that, Ixtimus?
And I need you to make a charisma roll for him to believe in you and not to believe that you're addled by all of the experience that you've gone through.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll just one. And oh, I am so addled. I think I'm actually, like, visibly shaking. I'm like, you've gotta listen to me, Ixness. And my eyes are maybe even slightly green glow still left of them.
And he's tall, right? He's a big Ithorian. He reaches up and gently takes your shoulders. He says, Cien can pilot the ship while it is in hyperspace. Please, group, you've served the Alliance so well. You seem overwrought, my friend. Please come here into the med bay. We should sit you down. You should be calm. You've been dealing with an alien artifact, and you seem stressed. Here, I will play some Ithorian music for you. It's very calming and helps me to think of the cosmos. I'm like clicking.
Ixness, you're not listening to me. I think Grip kind of freaks out a little bit, and he's like pounds on one of the walls. He's like, Ixness, you've gotta listen to me. We can't just, this is not a tool. This is, people are alive in here. And he, like, grabs Ixness. Listen to me.
And then he pulls up this little thing and like in the side of your neck and knocks you out. And he holds you and he lifts you up and he puts you on and he straps you down because, Cien's driving, so maybe problems could happen. And then you start to have dreams, and all of the words that you have heard, the stories, they start to fall into place, and you can remember the story of the Cassinid woman and her 3 children, and how all the plans that they had together, and hear the story of the Cassinid leader who had to make the final call, and how they went through the choice of finding this particular power source, and all of the work that they had to record everything here, and the battery that was created, and all this stuff. They've been working for months knowing that this sun up in the sky would become an angry sun and no longer keep them alive. Leaf, with the knowledge that Darth Saris can find you, what is it that you do after the beautiful throat singing from the Wookiee, accompanied by Rodian?
Leaf lays down in the medical bay and on one of the other cots in there, and just puts a hand over on his, as he's having his little fever dreams. and she's going to rest, and she's asking the Force, where is a safe place for this artifact to end up, and
Nice.
if I can lead Darceris in a different direction.
Ooh, nice. So you gain you have one with the Force. You may meditate during a period of rest and gain an insight from the Force. Ask one question to the GM. Is there a location or solution? The answer may be cryptic. You come to the understanding that Darth Saris and their enmity that they have sworn to find and hunt you down can be a lure to ensure the safety of the others. You also come to understand that while this vessel holds the stories and memories of the Cassinet, that it is only a vessel, and that with the proper technology, it could be transferred to other data crystals. It would be a large number of data crystals, but with time and care, that their memories can be saved. It would diminish the strength and power of the battery that fuels it to do so. So it would be a resource lost to the Alliance to restore the Republic.
That would be a tough message to deliver to them, especially if they were hoping for a source of power. It comes with quite a drawback to it, especially if they're trying to do right by the universe right now.
Nice. So we're going to cut to Zop and Lobar. So Lobar,
Actually, I have a scene I really wanted to do with Leaf.
Cool. Okay,
so
let's do
that. I think Zop is also in dire need of some medical assistance. This poor overwrought medical bay, and our poor droid is very busy.
Oh man, but your medical droid's so excited. You guys pulled him out of the closet. He's doing a lot of help.
Super excited, but he's not going to like this part where I open up the med bay. I'm going to slap a stim pack on, and then I see Leaf sort of doing this meditation thing with Grip, who's totally passed out. And I immediately just like take the hilt of my vibro rapier and jam it into her stomach. And I go, "Wake up." And I throw another vibro rapier at her and immediately start fencing. And I'm like, "You will not make that mistake again. I will not lose you like I lost Booza." And immediately begin training her in more advanced lightsaber techniques that I know.
Nice.
I'm so sorry about this med bay. Oh my gosh. There'd be aluminum trays flying everywhere.
4-1B is like, oh, this is not good. Nice.
All right, but yeah, it turns into one of those wordless duels as we're moving around the room and navigating and trying to duck under like the robotic surgery arm. Yeah.
Nice. Meanwhile, we've got Grip, like eyelid, his eyes are moving quickly under his eyelids, a little bit of a greenish glow that kind of leaks out from his closed eyes as he's dreaming these fever dreams. We slide out to Lobar. All the action's in the med bay, guys. No, we Lobar, you, Ixmas working together, try to work on repairs to the ship, everything that can be done. You guys took 4 hit points of damage. That's pretty significant. I think you lost maybe one of your subsystems, and so you've got to reroute a bunch of that. And Ixmas says, Lobar, have you seen the power readings coming off of this artifact? It is truly incredible.
Power readings? No, I haven't seen any power readings. I've seen what it did to Grip, though. That thing, you need to treat that with caution. That thing, if you ask me, should be sealed up in a box and thrown out of the nearest airlock.
Yes, it does seem dangerous. I unfortunately had to sedate Grip. He was talking a
What?
great deal of nonsense and seemed to be a danger to himself and others.
What sort of nonsense?
It
And
was
so Lobar will put down his tools and like is only interested in this conversation now. Crosses his arms.
Ixmas keeps working because that's what you do. And so he will move over and his long little Thorian fingers starts trying to slice together a couple of wires. Group was speaking about 1,000,000 souls were involved, and then he was screaming something about the losing all of the stuff. It was very difficult to follow. Basic is not his first language, I think, perhaps.
Isn't Grip human?
Yes, he's totally human.
Yes.
Ixmas just doesn't understand babbling very well. His thoughts are so well organized that when people are upset and angry, he kind of filters out some of the emotion. He'll start humming his work song. It's not nearly as pretty as Wookiee throat singing.
So I think at this, yeah, the song of definitely not the song of his people. I think Lobar will then like go to the medbay and just sort of see what's up. I think this might be like a different time than the fencing situation. I think
yeah, you guys are just finishing up from your fencing session, and I think that Ixmas continues working, and for whatever reason, Grip, you start to rouse. You start to wake up. Maybe Leaf gave you a stim pack, or perhaps 4-1B had to move you because of all of the excitement from the
lightsaber
practice. Lightsaber duel.
You come to, and we're both disheveled, and the room is a mess, and there's like meaningful looks going back and forth, and you have no idea what's happened.
Nitai and her child, they can see the star like dying in the sky above them, and Glucon, the great architect. I mean, his genius work of a lifetime was almost done. It was almost completed. It was the most beautiful building anyone has ever constructed, and it was lost before anyone could even enter it one time. The tragedy, Zop, Leaf, the tragedy.
So Lobar like physically picks you up by your shoulders, and she starts shaking you and yelling at you to stop yelling, stop.
Lobar, don't you understand? You saw it. You saw this artifact. Couldn't you hear? Couldn't you hear their voices? They're in there, Lobar. They're inside there now. They're still there.
It's just memories of them. But depending on what you do with it, you might be able to preserve some of those.
So he's not talking nonsense. This is actually a what? What is it? What is this thing that we've been sent halfway across the sector to find?
It's a powerful source of energy, sure, but that wasn't its real point. The point was to keep the preservation for as long as possible for these people. They're all dead, but they wanted to share their story, I think.
We have to share their story. Look, if we're just going to take this and turn it into raw power to enact our will, then how are we any better than the Empire and the Sith? Aren't we fighting to preserve life?
So
This is
At
not
this
life.
point, yeah.
This is a tool. This is a tool we must use. Sacrifices will be made. They must be made.
You of all people should know differently. Look, I can't use the
Enough.
Force, but isn't that what these Sith are all about? Using the Force as a tool, not as a way to connect people in life? Have you all gone mad? This is what we're fighting for.
So I think Lobar is like yelling at you all to stop talking right now. I think Lobar is like, enough. These decisions are way beyond your rank, pointing at Grip, or your rank, pointing at Zop, or anyone on this ship. And then I think Lobar storms out the room and reports exactly what the conversation just had over to the captain. And like, no, Captain.
This is certainly above Xmas's rank.
Yes, definitely.
This
100%
is far. This is quite a quandary. I believe the late Mothma, or perhaps even Mon Mothma herself, Admiral Akbar, should weigh in on a decision this heavy. We, of course, cannot commit genocide on a group that has already been gone, but still, very difficult. Very difficult. Lobar, do you believe the Grip is accurate in his understanding of the device?
Yes, we have no reason not to believe it. The Jedi, the Force user, certainly seems to verify the account, and also explains that this cultural preservation was their original mission. So,
He picked up his little comm unit. Believe good roads. Would you please come and speak with me? Let's see. I think you probably would have found Ixtmas. I mean, he would still be working on repairs, right? So he's near the shields.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, he'll meet with. I mean, he's not really going to ask Zop's opinion. Zop, you're a merc, right? I mean, that's what you do. You're good at killing stuff. You're a good soldier. Leaf, though. I mean, Leaf could be a general. Only a few years ago, every Jedi I met was a general, and here you are on this interesting mission. Is it because of the size of your lightsabers? This is why you do these missions instead of being a general? I'm very curious.
Never had an interest in being a general. I live to serve, such as it is.
It's very honorable. We have quite a quandary here. It seems that Grip has discovered what you also agree, that what this device holds the memories of this ancient race of which I've never heard in my many studies.
I think the analysis is correct so far. But what you do with
the
this...
Imperials were there on the ship when you arrived, according to the report. Is it possible that they may have done something to the device so that we would consider it unusable for our aims? Some kind of counterintelligence action?
I don't think they've had a chance to get to the device. I can't hand on heart swear that, but I do know that wherever the device goes, I cannot go with it.
Is it causing you some kind of discomfort?
No, it's when we were on the ship, on their submarine, leading their crew, there was a Sith with them. My path is to intersect with his. Hopefully as far away from you and the crew and this device as possible.
That is disappointing. I I very much miss traveling with Jedi at my side. You're so logical and interesting and calm.
Unlike the people shouting in your hold.
Unlike the people shouting in the med bay.
It's been an honor to travel with you, Captain.
If you wish, we can come out of hyperspace in a planet where you can obtain travel. But if you also wish, I am happy to give you our solitary escape pod.
Somewhere, if you have supporters, I think would be helpful. I might be able to lure the Sith into a compromising situation elsewhere to perhaps stop them, at least keep them off your trail for as long as possible. So if you do pause and let me out along the way, and good travels to you.
Oh, well, this would be very beneficial because we could then reinstitute the hyperspace engine protocols around gravity wells and perhaps not slam into a planet. This is a good idea. Very well. We can drop you off. Have you ever heard of the desert planet known as Tatooine?
I've heard stories. I
We
think
are
that'll
passing nearby there. Could drop you off there if need be.
Thank you.
I must warn you, however, there's a great deal of unrest in the place known as Mos Eisley. Our very esteemed generals took down a hut there just a short time ago.
It can't be worse than the bottom of the ocean.
Well, you'd be surprised at the sheer amount of swoop gangs that cause trouble there.
All right. Well, I'll do my best to lay low there and not draw any extra attention from the locals.
All right. So that will bring that scene to an end. We have just a scant amount of time left. So what I would like to do is open up for epilogues to see where each of you end up. Feel free to leave it open-ended in case you wish to bring these characters back for other crazy adventures. But I will leave it into your hands if this is a thing where you hand the device off and you're unsure what has happened. But I want, because Walter, I think Grip has been the most, I'm going to give you the narrative authority to make that decision. If everybody else is good with that, I think it kind of rests in your hands because you're bought in, and I think it's awesome. So let's start with Leaf. So Sean, if you could tell us a little bit about, in the closing credits of this 2-episode series, Hack in the Black, what is it that we see Leaf Goodreads doing? Goodroads, sorry.
Leaf is decked back out in a spacesuit, ready to be ejected in the pod towards the planet as you're dropping out of hyperspace. But before she closes the door, she takes Zop, grabs him by the shoulder, presses the hilt of his blade back against his chest, and says, "You'll need this. I'll see you soon."
Sooner than you think.
Then Ixmus, of course, says, "May the Force be with you."
And you.
Cool. And then you like head off into the desert. You've got like some kind of cool looking like scarf covering your mouth, and then the long shot's taking off after you exit. Is that what you're seeing?
I think that'd be like one of the last scenes. Yeah, this one is just like the door of the escape pod goes shut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. I love it. Cool. So you actually...
Ship.
Nice. Love it. Low bar. What is it that we see of your epilogue, friend?
So I think all you really see of Lobar is that he's still on the long shot. And he's just... he's a little older. He's a little older now. You can see a little more grey in his fur. A few more... a cool battle scar going across one side of his face. He's just kitted out with like tons and tons of heavy armor or gear, just not like equipped, but like carrying it around as if it's like loading up the ship. And I think you see him with like a huge oversized container on one shoulder that he's just bringing aboard the ship, and he's just humming a low tune. And next to him is R2VO. Yep. And R2VO is like dragging like a trail of like a little trailer of stuff behind him, and yeah, he's just kitting up the ship for another expedition.
Love it. Zop, what do we see from you?
I think we see Zop. It's not entirely clear at first where he is, but he's speaking into like a data recorder, and he's writing a message to Booza. It's like, day 433 or whatever. I still miss you. My adventures have found me caring for yet another Jedi. I will train her the way you trained me. I miss you still. Wherever you are, I hope you get this. As it slowly zooms out, it's just one of those little Tatooine huts. And Booza is looking through a pair of hollow binoculars as Leaf is speeding across on a speeder somewhere, being chased probably by like Tusken Raiders or something.
Nice. And then last but not least, we have Grip.
Yes. So I think Grip slowly starts to realize that he's got to maintain his calm if he's going to have influence over people, and he understands that this is a really important artifact for the rebellion, but he keeps very close tabs on this artifact as it sort of makes its way around through research facilities and stuff. I think he takes advantages of his contacts. He knows Ain Tina, the Twi'lek princess, is a good friend of his, and he like uses his companions to help pull strings, and eventually it comes down to him that this artifact, they've found a use for it in these new plans for a rebel ship with a power called the Death Blossom. And Grip volunteers himself to be the test pilot for this new ship, so that he will be close to the artifact at all times, even though his life may be at risk, to test out the powers we can gain from it. And I think that's where I'll leave it off.
That's so good. That's so good. You crossed all the streams. That was amazing. Masterful work. That brings our 2-shot Hack in the Black to a close, my friends. That was amazing. We're right at time, and I know it's incredibly late for one of you, so anyone who wants to drop, you're welcome. But if you have a couple minutes, I'd love to run through a quick Roses and Thorns. For anyone who wants to stick around, completely optional. So I will start off with Thorns of, wow, I thought I had it all down, but we still ran into the armor thing. That was a bit of point of confusion. Appreciate everybody being understanding, as I was like, I thought I understood this until we apply it, and then it felt like it was like a 2-step and I wanted a 1-step. So the secret rose is that what we've chosen to interpret it as is freaking awesome, and I really like it. Like, I really like the idea of like you can take off whichever 2, like for every armor point value, you can take off one of those dice. That's really cool. I don't think that's the way Black Hack works, but I really want it to be the way that it should work because it's faster, and I thought it was neat that we interpret it in that manner. Other thorns. I don't know if everybody got equal time. I'm always stressed about. I'll look at speaker stats and I can tell. Oh, not much from Tom or Greg, really. Okay. All right. Those are my thorns. So we'll go with Walter. What thorns did you have?
Wow. I always have trouble with this because I have so much fun. It's hard to like think of something I would improve. I mean, just to like pick something, I would say like, you know, there was like the like kind of the rules weren't clear for say armor and stuff, and we had to like hack them. But I actually thought that was great. I mean, you know, again, turning my thorn into a rose like I did last time. I really loved that we're like, you know, house ruling it on the fly and being like, well, this makes sense. So I enjoyed that we handled that. But you know, if I had to be pressed, I'd say, you know, the rules weren't set at the beginning.
Yep, that's a really good point. Thank you for that. Greg, what thorns did you have?
Again, minor thorns. I really had a great time. I wish there was more space combat. That's one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. Oh boy. Someone just rang the doorbell. Now my dog's gonna go crazy.
No worries.
And the other thing is that like Black Hack doesn't really have an aid move. We
Yeah.
did it a little bit. And I think what we came up with where like I can take a skill check to give someone else advantage on their roll, I think that's worked out just fine. I just wish that was spelled out somewhere so that I could, because that's what I wanted to do. I want to aid with this. I want to aid with that. Right. That's a cool thing. Let me throw my 2 cents in. But just not having that spelled out was a little, meh.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like what we ended up with, if I can go back and document it and stick in, this is how you help people, and then stick in, this is how you do armor. I definitely want to run this again. Like, for sure. I know we're in thorns, but like, yeah. Tom, what thorns did you have?
Yeah, relatively minor thorns. Well, no, okay. So I'm basically just going to register an opinion here. I don't know if I like the way that Black Hack with the whole melee / range dichotomy of like, okay, if you're in close to someone, you use this stat. If you're in range with someone, you're using this stat. Really fits with a lot of like Star Wars stuff, because at least not with like this sort of fiction. I felt like being a buff character was somewhat limiting in, well, it was like a narrow box that I was like, okay, I don't want to sort of play into that too much this session. I'll see what else I can do. So while I had fun, I feel like maybe the whole way the fiction, it's really hard for me. I mean, this isn't really like an elaborate thought. It's just like, I don't know if that super makes a whole lot of sense for some things. Like, everyone's proficient with basically every type of weapon, but we're all sort of like, I don't know. There's like, shouldn't we all be able to like try and do something crazy? But if it's really hard, we just have a super low chance of doing it. But it felt like the whole, if I want to shoot something, I'm rolling against my dex, which, because it just happened to run out kind of low or kind of average, that just doesn't happen. And like, we didn't really, also the other thing, we never made any defense rolls at all. We were always attacking.
Yeah. And yeah, that's absolutely, you've nailed it. I kept looking at the like defend and like, how do you defend from a blaster bolt? Like, I didn't.
Exactly. The only way I could think of doing it, and I was thinking of doing it at the beginning of the session, was like, all right, I'm gonna like lay down suppressing fire, and that would be like, but how does that really work though? That's not really the way the fiction sort of works in a Star Wars setting. Someone tries to shoot you and they either hit or miss. Well, you try and hit someone and they hit or miss. That's it, pretty much. So
yeah, I think,
unless we like,
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tom.
unless like you're calling simultaneously instead of a defend roll, an evade roll, because really that's what you're doing. You're like taking cover. You're not like you're not blocking an attack. You are like hiding. I mean, and Black Axe sort of doesn't really make a distinction between defending and attacking for either ranged or melee. It's just that in Star Wars, you're going to be doing it at range universally. So that means that anyone that, like, I think this might be specifically a case for the Wookiee as well, where like they're heavily incentivized to like invest in strength as a stat rather than a lot of the other stats. Is sort of like an interesting thing. But that's like the one. That's just a thought that occurred to me during play. Otherwise, yeah, nothing really to complain about. I mean, I do agree with like the confusion around the armor thing. Still was a bit awkward, but yeah, that's just something we can figure out on our own. This is like a more complex opinion, I think. So anyway, that's me.
That's really good. That's something to think about. I think there's legs to this, but I do think that the core idea or assumption for combat in Black Hack, which is based around dungeon crawling and back and forth, isn't really something that exists it should be emulated or aped in a Star Wars thing. So it needs to be more swashbuckly. So I appreciate you pointing that out. I'm going to have a think about it because a lot of the other aspects of the game were good, but it does a kind of a core component. Like this thing's about fighting, and if the fighting system doesn't really hold together, the idea of everybody having to put everything in good decks seems dumb, and I don't love it. So giving other combat options would make it more fun. And more flexible, so that you're not just, and you fire back, and you fire back, and you fire, but you have to roll damage against yourself. That gets sluggish. Thank you, Tom. That's really helpful. Sean, what thorns did you have?
You guys have covered them. We did the awesome Star Wars things, and I'm not sure if we did them because or in spite of the source of the rules. But like, incredible credits to you and everybody else for doing all of those awesome Star Wars things. Throwing the bandolier of grenades and like wading through hallways with people and doing the running liftoff with the boat. All of those were excellent, and I think most of those scenes were ones where we didn't actually touch the Black Hack. But yeah, another Rose Railroad. Thanks for helping me drop into this one and not feel like I was totally clued out about what was going on and finding a way to weave me in on the story. That was really fun, and I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. And Sean, I do this in snake order since you had to wait until last to do thorns. You get to go first in roses. Roses, attaboys, attagirls to friends, and highlights to the game.
Head on that one then. It felt like Star Wars. It felt like it looked like Star Wars. You were great with the NPCs. It really added to it. It wasn't just, we're Star Wars people on an adventure, hooray for us. It actually felt like it made sense inside the universe. So really enjoyed that aspect as well.
Cool. Thanks, Sean. Tom, what about you? What Rose did
you? Yeah, so like Rich, you've got the Star Wars thing just down, just to a T, like just across the board. It's kind of incredible, actually. I would kind of wish that this sort of like everything from the rules, like the name generators, all that sort of stuff, like all that stuff, like the spreadsheets. It obviously helps a lot to have like a whole bunch of resources that we can draw from to like use as map references and stuff like that. Damn, yeah, this felt like the thing. And in spite of like what I was saying about how what was the thing? Of how it felt like we were just doing like what everyone was just rolling decks basically and that sort of stuff. It still felt like good stuff, like Star Wars fiction. All the right beats were being hit. It was all good. Now I think I have to give a special rose to Walter for that scene in the that was like excellent. excellent. I think I've seen you do some crazy role play, Walter, and that is probably the best I've ever seen you do. That was like unexpected drama and everything coming out of that scene. I was like, damn, I was not expecting this at 1 a.m.
Absolutely. Yeah, I second it. Thank you, Tom, for calling that out. Greg, what about you? What roses did you have?
Oh, I made a list. Rich, I love the idea of running classic D6 modules in Black Hack. This is a cool idea. I agree. It totally has legs. And I think it went really well. Let's see. Oh, and also the last act of this really just like pushed the action. Like as soon as we get up to the surface, it was just like hard hit after hard hit, which was really drove it home, and I really liked that. And it wasn't really until the very end that we got some relief from that, which was fun. I loved the scene with Lobar and R2VO with I just imagined that so well in my head of like the two characters with no subtitles and then beep, 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 just going back and forth, and they start singing, and like, what's the context there? I just loved that a lot. Sean, I loved Leaf. She's cool, and thank you for playing a Force sensitive character for Zop to play off of, because that's like kind of Zop's thing, is that he babies Jedis. And then I loved Grip's Daring Do. You played that to the hilt, Walter, throwing the bandolier of thermal detonators, because I had already blown up the hallway, and you're like, let's blow it up again. Which was very on character for what my understanding of Grip was. So I loved that a lot too. Excellent. Can't wait to do it again.
Awesome. Walter, what roses did you have?
Oh, I have so many. This was such a blast. So much fun. I really love that everybody brought so much Star Wars to it. Zop is such an amazing bounty hunter, and the scene of the lightsaber lessons between Zop and Leaf, and just like I love how Zop brought in all this backstory of your relationship with the previous Jedi and calling out your Jedi. I assume that was your Jedi lover that you called out the name of to
exactly.
To Darth
Yep.
Cirrus. That was great. I just love like the life and just kind of generally. I feel. I mean, I tried to bring it back to like references to previous games that Grip was in, and I just really dig this rich world, right? Where it's like it just feels so easy to make callbacks to previous things that have happened in this Star Wars world, and it does feel like this like living world with more than just the players in the current game, and it's so exciting, right? And as soon as you like mentioned like Tatooine and the Swoop Gang and all of this, I'm just like, oh yes, there's all these great things, all these great images come back to my mind. It's so wonderful. And then Lobar is just so awesome in so many ways. Like the singing scene was awesome, but I also really love how Lobar like just like really dug into each situation, right? Like throwing the bandolier, to Grip, like, here, you could use this. And then the idea to just drop the escape pod. Like I was like, oh, we're trapped. We can't get out the escape pod. And you're totally just like, oh, well, I'll just like rig this. We'll just drop it out. Like, oh, that's brilliant. And then just like even the opening scene, right? Just like saving Grip. Like I got this here. Let me just pry your hands free and show you how this is done, right? I'm just gonna unwrap this iron bar around it. Like so Wookiee. So good in so many ways. And Sean, you were amazing. Like you weren't in the previous series, the previous episode, but you just like Leaf felt so integral. Like you just immediately jumped into like, yeah, this is why Leaf is there, and jumped into the action, inserted yourself with Darth Sirius, And also, I really like how Leaf became this like force sensitive like source of knowledge about the artifact. Right? I mean, like you went from like inserting yourself in the middle of the action to just feeling like so tightly integrated with the backstory and like the telling and understanding. It was almost like this like narrative, NPC voice kind of got dropped in. So that was super cool how you really flowed into that. Yeah, I just loved it, and I loved that the system was really light. I feel like for what we were doing, we were all bringing such good stories that like having a really simple system that just kind of stayed out of our way and let us talk about the cool things we wanted to do and see if it worked or didn't was perfect. So I had so much fun. Yes, those are all my roses. Did I get? Wait, I have more. No, I'm kidding.
You guys were awesome. Very game open to trying things. Tom, thanks for all your solutions. Walter, thanks for taking the ball of the little snips of story, giving names, giving life to it. That was grade A. Like, thank you so much, Greg, for bringing in Booza and like making that like poignant and emotional. Sean, you were so creative to like just buy into this and jump straight into the back to tank. Like such a clear vision of her getting out of this and like, oh, great, out of the frying pan into the fire and just jumping into things. That was really, really fun. And I'm very happy that I found a voice for Xmas. Like Xmas is like a character that may show up again later. He's kind of this calm Sam the Eagle that tickles me. Like doing his voice is very interesting to me. And I mean, I have to make sure that I keep him like to where he doesn't draw the cadence down of the entire session, but like every once in a while to kind of draw him in like a Statler Waldorf, but different. Pretty happy with that. And thank you guys so much. This was great. Really, really fun game. And I can't wait to play with you guys again.